Hi.
Yeah,
Hello.
I was listening
Hola.
to, I want to say, at least like 12, 15 minutes of what just happened.
Okay, cool.
So, what I want to say is there's a difference in the way that we use our logic versus the way you guys use your logic. And it's clear.
Okay.
So you guys, when you sit there and you try to draw analogies to the attributes of God and his justice, you're missing a very critical point. And that's the fact that we as human beings are put within the world, the dunya, and we are under constraints in which God has set. Whether you believe in Allah or you believe in Jesus being God, we know that we are under constraints that God has set upon us, and therefore we have limited tools. And the way that our knowledge works is that we only know what we know. So anything that we haven't seen, we have no way of conceptualizing. We might have an idea that there is something out there, but we have no way of conceptualizing. So when you want to sit there and say God's justice or whatever, we have no idea what God is to even talk about the attributes of God. We know what he has told us, and that's it. But to sit there and try to use our own limited knowledge of what he put upon us in order to explain him, it's troubling. It's very troubling.
So let me just real quick, if I may, bring it back to also what Avery was saying as well, because excuse me, we agree that we know what God has revealed to us. So God has revealed to us who the Messiah is in the Old Testament and the fulfillment of that in the New Testament. Now, the guy AJ before was saying that the Quran is in its own lane, the Bible is in its own lane, but yet from Avery's argumentation, the Quran confirms the prophets from before, but then contradicts the prophets from before. Yet that's who, even according to Islam, Allah is the one who revealed. So, with that being the case, do you know who the Messiah is and what that actually means to be the Messiah, according to the Old Testament?
According to Old Testament, I don't really go too much into your beliefs. Lakum dinakum waliyad din, that's what my Quran teaches me.
Yeah, but you accused us of using our own logic, right? But God sets the standard, right? In the Torah, he deems that a valid witness testimony is at the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, right?
How do you know that we're using our
A testimony of what?
A valid testimony is not a one-man testimony. So God sets the standard here of what a valid witness testimony looks like. So we're given this awesome book. It's a multi-layered, multi-witness testimony testifying of Jesus, and then the God of the Quran shows up and violates the very Torah he says he sent down and sends a new revelation by means of one-man witness. So
that's a disrespectful statement.
we're not using our own logic. We're holding God to his word here.
Travis,
what a true testimony looks like, friend.
Yeah, well, hold on. Safa, you just said that's disrespectful. Here's the crux of the matter, though. It's not disrespectful if it's true. Nonetheless, if it's true, then there's 2 things you have to do with it. You either have to deal with the truth, or you have to change what is true to a different truth. In other words, you have to, like, for example, if somebody says, like, that person is a liar, and this isn't in a parallel comparison. This is just an example. And it is true, the person is a liar, but then the person is no longer a liar. That person is a truth teller, truth seeker, things like that. Well, the truth of the matter is that person was a liar, but now the truth is that person is not a liar. So either you change the outcome of that truth, or you deal with that truth. And you're talking about...
Let me tell you something.
Hang on, hold on. I wasn't finished. Just let me finish. The crux of the matter is when it comes to logic, it's really God's logic that's here.
Yeah.
Okay. So hang on, I'm still not
done.
done. Hang on, just a little bit of patience. Just hang on a second, because when it comes to logic, at the end of the day, we can apprehend who God is by what He has revealed to us, but we can't fully comprehend Him because He is beyond anything in creation that it is. We agree with that. But when it comes to logic, all of us utilize the same rationality and the rules and laws of logic as anybody else can. We're just using
I
it.
disagree.
Well, you may disagree with it, but that's why you see a lot of that. That's why you have to differentiate our logic versus your logic, because our logic, by utilizing actual logic and being rational, we see that Islam is false. But you're saying, no, that's a different logic, but yet there's no form of logic that shows for our case to be wrong. So instead of saying
Yeah,
so it's everybody's using logic here.
there
So
is a form of logic, but you guys continue to defend it using your own logic behind that.
it's
And
logic
let me tell
nonetheless.
you
You
what
just
it
have to
is.
show that it's wrong.
Let me tell you what
Can
it
we
is, okay?
can we
Let
use
me
your
tell you
logic
what
then?
it is. Hold on. So the biggest logical issue in Christianity is that statement which he has in his life alone. Because
Which he has in his what?
first of all,
I missed what you said.
you guys, the way that you're, the way, okay, a supreme being should never, ever, 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 ever defy his own attributes and become part or within his own creation.
Says
He
who?
should never,
logic,
and even if he did,
Says
he
who
would
though?
never be
Wait, no, hold on.
as definition of God, and he would never be sought out to kill as definition of God, because everybody would know he's God. Do you
Not necessarily.
do you think that if you met
Yeah,
God,
Safa, hold on, Safa. You're saying a lot of you're making a lot of different points at once, while I'm trying to stick to just one single thing, bringing it back to what Avery said. So you're making a lot of points. You're assuming a lot of things based on a presupposition biasness of being a Muslim. Just because you think those things are true doesn't mean that they actually are. That's why Avery has that other background saying Islam is false, prove me wrong, because it doesn't matter what you believe if it's not true and you can't demonstrate that it's true. So it doesn't matter if you hold to those beliefs about Allah or anything like that. Still doesn't mean it's true. You have to show that it's true in the first place.
that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Hang on. What hasn't been shown is how, when it comes to the revelation given by supposedly Allah in Islam, is actually consistent with the previous revelation, when the Quran actually both confirms the previous prophets, which we have the writings of, and it contradicts the teachings of the previous prophets, which we actually still have today. So there's an issue with the consistency of saying Islam is an Abrahamic faith, because based on the evidence and based on actual logic and rational reasons, Islam is inconsistent and can't be counted as an Abrahamic faith because of that very thing, which is why Avery keeps bringing up when it comes to the Old Testament, because we still have the writings from the Old Testament.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed something. You said the inconsistency it has, it does not part of the Abrahamic faith. What is that inconsistency, or what is that?
For example, the teachings of the Messiah.
The teachings of Isa alayhi salam in the Quran.
Right. The teachings of Isa in the Quran is inconsistent with the previous revelation that we still have today from the time of Jesus, even himself.
We know this because we have the Quran insists and adamantly continues to say that God is one. The way you guys believe
and belief, which is, for example, your belief in the Messiah. If you don't mind, please. If you don't mind.
Well, Sig, if I may, just real quick.
Yeah, of course.
So, for example, like there's a lot of religions out there that claim that there is one God, where you even have type of spiritualism that believes that the universe is God and that's one God. But just because you hold to one God, because Islam claims to there be one God, I mean, I can create my own religion myself and say there's one God, but that doesn't make me a prophet, nor does it make me a part of the Abrahamic faith, because I can make up that God for all I care. So just because it claims it doesn't make it true. So that's where, so hold on. So not the one God part, but about the Messiah himself when he's prophesied in the Old Testament. That's where the issue is at right now. So instead of going anywhere else, we call it the Muslim shuffle here. When anybody goes through anything else other than the actual example that we're using, or the points that we're actually using. So don't go anywhere else. Don't make claims about anything else. Just the Messiah. How do you know who the Messiah is?
we يعني Islam acknowledges Isa alayhi salam,
I
but
know.
there is and it's logical. It's very logical to me. That's why I don't even need to look. So like, let me tell you something. If you know that 2 + 2
Maybe you're
equals
born as a Muslim.
4, or you see a complicated math question and you see all the other wrong tries that other people did, that doesn't make your correct answer any less correct. You don't need to
Great.
see the
Refuting
other
someone else's
different
knowledge doesn't make yours
solutions
true.
in order to know that you're correct.
Right,
Correct?
but we're not talking mathematics here. We're talking
Okay,
Hold on, Safa.
so that's why I
We're
don't
talking
look at your book.
historical here. So for example, if I say historically speaking, I ate spaghetti and meatballs yesterday, but then somebody comes along and says historically yesterday I ate a cheeseburger. One of them is true, the other one is false, or none of them are true.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the claim, just because you get a right answer about one thing doesn't mean you get. Excuse me. Just because you get an answer, again, it has to do with consistency. Okay, there's one God. Yes, that's right. However, who is that one God? Are there previous prophets from before? Do they line up with what this one God is saying about those previous prophets? And if not, how can we say that that is the same God of those same prophets when that one God is saying completely different things about those prophets? They can't be the same. It's a false God claiming to be somebody else that he actually is, if he's saying things that are wrong. And that's what we're getting at. Islam, the God of the Quran, is getting stuff wrong. So it doesn't matter what he claims if he's already getting stuff wrong. I can say, like, for example, the devil himself at the Garden of Eden said, did God really say you will truly die if you eat of this? And guess what? They ate of it. They didn't die of that day, but the day that God actually made it for them to die, they did. So yes, the devil got it right. Even the demons believe that God is one. But they're demons. They're devils. Just because you hold to that doesn't mean that you are of the true spirit of God.
So we're gonna compare to the devil and demons.
No. Please don't take my
Hold on,
example.
look, this is just an ego.
Please, hang on. Hold on. Please don't take my examples as any type of personal attack or anything like that. I am simply just stating examples, not parallel to anything, just examples of your logic where it could be used, but again, demonstrates that just because you utilize that logic doesn't make it true.
Well,
Anybody can make these claims, but it doesn't make it true.
I know what you're talking about, but if I am following something that's not true, and then I look at something that's true, I'm trying to measure what's true with what's not true, then ultimately I am going to come to the conclusion that the truth is false. That's a logical thing.
Not necessarily, because you have
the position's true to begin with.
It's not necessarily the case, because a lot of people who are biased will fight for what they believe is true no matter what, to their very death and core. Yeah. But that still doesn't make it true. So just because, like, for example, you even said you don't study the Bible, you don't read the Old Testament.
So how can you critique it?
So you don't even know if Islam is even in fact true, because you've done no comparison. And what a lot of people actually tend to do is actually, instead of going and seeking out the truth, they rather have confirmation bias and look for stuff that confirms what they already believe, because they already presuppose and believe that it's true. What you need to do is actually go and see what actual non-biased scholars from both sides of the coins actually say, who are authoritative in the field, and then come to your conclusion. I was an atheist before, so this is what I did. So this might help you out if you do the same. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to the evidence of the Old Testament and the New Testament and the Abrahamic faiths, Islam does not follow. Period. And we have legitimate reasons to think so. And that's why you see us on this panel today.
This panel. Well, of course you have. Listen, if you were an atheist and you're a Christian, I respect the fact that you acknowledged.
And I've studied Islam too.
And I let me tell you something. If you actually look in the Quran,
I have.
How much have you looked into it?
I literally have a study Bible, or sorry, not a study Bible, study Quran from Saeed Hossein Nassar, and he's the editor-in-chief with other Islamic scholars behind him. I have another Quran here that I actually have taken many notes in called the Clear Quran. Oh, here it is. The Clear Quran. Who also was a part of a community of Islamic scholars. And then I have, let's see here, I have The Life of Muhammad, I have Neighboring Faiths in Contemporary Religion, like cross-referencing them, studying them, things like that. Like I'm not kidding when I say I have looked into it, and when it comes to the consistency of the Abrahamic faiths, this is why I'm not a Mormon, this is why I'm not Jehovah's Witness, and this is why I'm not Muslim.
The Abrahamic faiths. What do you mean by that, though? I don't get it.
The Abrahamic faiths, all who derive from the faith of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to Moses, and then beyond that, the Abrahamic faiths.
Okay, so you mean like the other Abrahamic books, like the Quran and the Torah and stuff?
I'm talking about anybody who says that they follow after the Abrahamic faith, which is Judaism, Christianity, and after that, those are the ones that like I've studied into personally. And when it comes to it, Judaism is consistent with both historical, archaeological evidence, and consistency when it comes to the practices that they did back from the 18th and 19th dynasty of Egypt, which is around the time of Moses, and then all the way through. We see consistency. Then Christianity comes, and we still see that consistency with the history in Second Temple Judaism. It's all consistent. Then you have these other religions come about later on, like Islam, Mormonism, Jehovah's Witness, and say all these claims, make all of these things up about Christianity and Judaism. And then when I actually study into it and look into it, it turns out they're wrong. They're actually making stuff up so that they can actually seem to be the true religion. And it's not the case because we still have evidence from before all these religions became a thing. And that's why none of us here today hold to those. That's why we're Christians today. So going back real quick, that has to do with, like, for example, the Messiah. When it comes to the Old Testament, we have corroborating data that demonstrates who the Messiah was before Jesus even became a human being on earth. And they prophesy about him, about the things that he would do. And then the writings and teachings of Jesus, which we still have today, demonstrate that those things were in fact fulfilled. So that's where it comes to the Messiah specifically. Who is the Messiah outside of Islam? Who is the Messiah, first off, and how do you know that? You can't just say because the Quran says so, because you don't even know if the Quran actually is telling the truth. So how do you demonstrate who the Messiah
that's where
is?
you can't put words in my mouth, though, because me personally, I do know the Quran is telling the truth.
How do you know it's telling the truth?
Yeah. So how did you? What did you weigh the words?
Wait,
of the
do you
Quran
mind if
against?
how do you know it's telling the truth?
Because for me, like I explained to you,
For you,
For you, objectively, overall, no matter.
as in, like, okay, can I? Let me. Maybe this will help, right? If you died right now, hopefully not. If you died right now, would the Quran still be true?
yes,
Okay, cool. So not just to you, then it is objectively true, correct?
yeah, it's objectively true. Yes,
Cool. How do you know it's objectively true?
the Quran. Because first of all,
Don't be secular.
let me ask you a question.
You're gonna ask me. You're gonna answer my question with a question.
Well, this will answer you, because first the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
How do you know he's a prophet?
Because he said he is a prophet, and he showed proof of him having
This is circular.
knowledge.
So slow down. Okay, so the Quran is true because then you said Muhammad. Then I ask, why is he a prophet? How is he a prophet?
He's a
To be
prophet
fair,
because
you didn't
he
finish your first
received
statement.
revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
How do you know the Quran is revelation from God Almighty? I'm not just talking about a random spiritual being. I'm talking about God Almighty specifically. How do you know it's from God rather than other spiritual beings?
It's from Allah
Because
subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's from
that's great.
Allah.
That's the thing we're trying to work out, right? How do you know that?
If it was from any other spiritual being, they wouldn't say praise,
How do you know
claim.
that?
They wouldn't.
How do you know that?
Yeah, hold on. So if it's a spiritual being, and maybe I can make this stronger, other spiritual beings won't go and say praise God and do good things, correct? This is the part where, other spiritual beings wouldn't say praise God and do good things, right?
I'm sorry, I got a phone call.
So, okay, it's cool. So the reason you gave is because other spiritual beings wouldn't say, praise God and do good things.
Okay.
Is that the reason you were going to give?
Yeah, I mean, if it was something from another spiritual being, they're not gonna tell you praise God. And not just that, there's a lot of stuff in the Quran
Let's start
is
with that
very,
first thing
very
that you
similar
just said.
to the Bible. So
How do you know that a spiritual
somebody
being
just,
wouldn't? How do you know a spiritual being wouldn't say that, or wouldn't want to say that, or couldn't say that? You
because
don't know.
that's just going out of
You're
that's
assuming
just
that they're going to think in a very specific kind of way, which presupposes that the Quran is telling the truth in the first place, which is
okay.
the thing that we're
And
trying to
hold on,
But then
and
I
hold on, hold
can
on.
say
Here's
the
another
same
good
thing
point.
about Isa alayhi
Another good
salam.
point. Hang on. Another good point is you're assuming that the spiritual being is telling everybody to worship the one true God, when it can in fact be the spiritual being can be telling other people to worship another.
Here, I'll show this. I'll show this case in point,
Yeah,
right?
but the way
I'll show this
that
case in point. Safa, I'll show this case in point. Safa, when a Christian tells you to worship the one true God, do you think the Christian is correct in what they're saying? Cool. So a spiritual being can also say worship the one true God, and they can also be correct?
right, but I can use that same
Thank you.
logic
So
against
another
you.
spiritual being could
I
say
can
worship
use
God
that
and
same
can still
logic
not be from God
against
Almighty.
you. How do you know Jesus alayhi salam didn't act like a Messiah due to the prophecies and the Dead Sea Scrolls that you're talking about?
Ooh,
Due to the fact that he
yeah.
was born and knows that he is a child
So
born
this
without a
is hold
father.
on. So okay,
How do you
that's
know he didn't
fine.
just take on that role then?
You do
How would
understand
you
that
know
that's not
that?
the conversation that's going on right now. You're just trying to flip the question on me.
No, because I'm telling you this
Yes,
is the
yes, that's
exact
exactly what
same
you're trying to
logic.
do. Thank you. Yeah, this is just a you also. This is a too quick way. You
And
can't do that.
yeah.
But look. Even if you want to go down that rabbit hole, which I won't because it's pointless, it stands to rest then, and we will talk about my belief, but it stands to rest for now that you can't actually prove objectively that it's from God rather than something else right now. And that's fine. That's okay. You can go and read on it or study. Like even me, okay, we're all improving. But you can't sit here and then say that we have our own logic and you have your logic and
You
our
do. You
logic doesn't
have
make
your
sense
own
when you can.
I'm sorry, your logic does not make any freaking sense. I wouldn't think to look
This
into
is the
your
part where you're
Bible
complaining,
ever
and that's
because you
fine.
guys sit there
Okay.
and try to create a whole
Okay.
thing of
See, you
logic,
see
a
what
whole
you see.
cycle of
This
logic
is
in
what it
order to
sounds like to
explain
me,
the
Saf.
illogical nonsense that's in
Saf,
your
what it
belief
sounds
system.
like is that you're insulting my belief, and I haven't done anything to you.
No. See, let me tell you
Yes,
something.
that's exactly what you're doing. And that's fine, but it's not
Because
substantive for
you
anything.
guys ignore the fact that the Quran acknowledges Christians and Jews,
But it
but
doesn't though.
they
That's the point.
acknowledge the good Christians and the good Jews, the ones that
But
truly
it doesn't
believe
though.
and are
But
truly
the
monotheists.
problem that we're having is you're supposed to substantiate evidence to us that Muhammad was a prophet or that the Quran is telling the truth the entire time. What Hunter was trying to demonstrate was he didn't believe in any of the books and he did his best to research all of the books.
That's great. That's
Great.
great. You know
So
what?
how
He has
so you
less
as a
fault.
Muslim, hold on. So you as a Muslim, did you convert to Islam? Did you convert?
No. I
So
was born a
you were
Muslim,
born into
but
it.
as a Muslim, it's my duty to
Hold on,
learn
hold on,
about my
guys, real
Islam
quick,
and truly
real
accept
quick. I don't mean to
Islam.
interrupt. Hold on, just a second. I'm hearing that Omar the Muslim wants to come up. So moderators, if you see Omar the Muslim in the audience and he requests, please let him up. I'm in the kitchen or whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. Look.
So
I just
Sig,
wanted to. Look, the only reason I actually here's what I was saying. The other Muslim that was on the live before with Black Doctor, there was this concept of justice that was being talked about, and I really wanted to contribute, but the live finished. But this is something that maybe you could think about, and then I'll take my piece, and then Hunter can get back to doing his thing. What I will say is you came on the live, and then you said, "Oh well, you have your logic, and we have our logic." But
You
then
do.
when he gave you an idea of, okay, look at all of these sources and then pointing to this one thing, similar to the argument that you guys make when you say, look at all these things pointing to you. You don't seem to discount that, but rather you're just assuming the Quran is, the truth. That's what I'm trying to get at. You're assuming it's the truth rather than proving it's the truth.
I'm not
Which is fine.
assuming.
So what's your proof
I
then?
haven't been given a valid reason to assume otherwise. You understand?
Wait,
I haven't been
that's a
given
That's a fallacy, though.
Into another religion.
You guys, I think it would benefit here if we explain to her what circular reasoning is, right? Like if I get up off of a chair.
That's what I feel like your reasoning is.
Wait, hold on
that's
just a
why
second.
I don't go there.
Wait, hold on. This is exactly what the Quran does, right? So let's say I get up off the chair and say that this book was revealed to me from God, and then they say, "Well, how do we know?" And I say, "It says right here in my book." And then you say, "Well, how do I know I can trust you?" And then I said, "Well, it says right here in my book." We're not substantiating the claim of the Quran from the Quran itself. This is what we're trying to establish, and I think it would help here if you understand what circular logic or reasoning is. Because the book
do not assume that I don't understand what logic is. I understand what logic is far better than all of you. This is my
Just to clarify,
field of
I am
study.
actually doing some work
This is my field of study. I am a completely logical person, so it's very difficult to get to me unless you make sound logic.
Right. So when we say how do we know the Quran is from God? You say it says right here in the Quran, and that's not using sound logic. That's using circular.
That's fallacious
let me tell
argument.
you what's not using sound logic. This question that you're asking, though, has been asked throughout time on all the books.
And yet
with
no
all
Muslim
the
still has
prophets.
yet to answer.
So that question alone is not any way that I.
So answer the question. What did you use to establish that the words of the Quran were true? What method?
Well, first of all,
what did you weigh those words against?
Hold on. First of all, I learned what the Quran is, and I learned the teachings in the Quran. Right? Fine.
What is the Quran?
For me, that's not enough, right? Hold on. For me, that's not enough because there is other religions. So then I assessed why are there so many different belief systems and why do they all believe that they're true? I did briefly go into that. I did not go deeply into them. But the thing is, first of all, I found that the Quran affirms the previous books before it. And we all know this. It affirms it. But
show us. Let's challenge that one claim. Let's challenge the claim that the Quran confirms the previous scriptures before it.
There's a verse in the Quran.
Yes, chapter 12, verse 111. What scriptures did you open up to affirm the Quran's veracity? Please tell me you didn't borrow our Bible.
What?
Yeah, you said that the Quran is a confirmation of previous scripture. What scriptures did you open up?
Assalamu alaikum.
Fact check that.
Sister.
Hey, hold on. Don't come in interrupting.
Man, shut the hell up, bro. Anyways,
here. You're not gonna come up here talking like that, bro.
I'm gonna take over and I'm gonna refute you. Godlogic, can I have a respectful discussion?
Yeah, hold on.
What
you don't do, bro, I said that you can come up and as long as you're respectful. Do not interrupt the discussion. Until it's your turn to speak.
No worries.
It's your turn to speak. You can speak.
Can I say something?
You're not about to be disrespectful up here.
So,
inshallah, sister, you can.
Yeah. So Omar, mute up.
You can mute up and let him finish. Thank you.
Yeah. Mute up and let us finish.
Yeah, she said that the Quran was a confirmation of previous scripture. This is one of the ways she fact-checked the Quran's claim.
No. I didn't say that. I said
this is the standard you gave.
I didn't say it's a confirmation.
So if the Quran says,
hold on. My mouth. I said it affirms the previous religion.
Okay, so if it affirms the previous scripture, then what scripture did you open up to show that it does in fact confirm it?
No. Well, you didn't let me finish. It acknowledges the previous religions, but what it does is
how do you know that's true?
Provides the information of what went wrong, what was changed by human beings in those previous books. It tells us these
before or after Muhammad.
Christianity
exactly,
come from God.
Hold on. Before or after Muhammad?
It did come from God.
Safa, before or after Muhammad? Was it corrupt? When was it corrupted? Before or after Muhammad?
Christianity?
No, the books that the Quran confirms.
No, wait. It would have happened before.
Omar, I'm not talking to you.
As soon as you guys started saying
she's speaking to two of you guys. So why don't you two speak with me as well? It's 2v1. Let me join in as well.
You literally were told to not interrupt until we're finished.
You jumped in when it was between her and the brother, and you jumped in. So let me jump in as well.
Don't make it a 2v1.
Let it be a 2v2.
Somebody mute Omar, please.
No, don't run. You jumped in when she was speaking to the other guy. She jumped in when she was talking to the other guy. So let me jump in as well. Be a man and let's speak.
Hold on. Omar, here's the issue.
Prove that the Quran confirms the New Testament.
Omar, here's the issue that you're already interrupting.
Sister, can you drop so they don't use you as an excuse, please?
And you're interrupting.
Inshallah, can you drop so they don't use you as an excuse?
Okay, I'm leaving, and I'm gonna let Omar talk because you guys have been.
Can somebody please mute Omar because this?
Thank you, sister.
Side to side, so
Thank you. May Allah bless you.
Can somebody mute Omar?
So, Hunter, you said that the Quran confirms the New Testament. Give me one verse in the Quran that says it confirms the New Testament. Let's go through it.
No, that's actually, Omar, that's what the sister said.
No, you made the claim. You made the claim 10 minutes ago. I wrote it down. Prove that the Quran confirms the New Testament.
Omar, that's what the sister
Give me the Quran verse. You made the claim. Give the verse. I don't want to hear you waffle. Give the verse in the Quran which confirms the New Testament. You made the claim.
So all we do, all we need here is a little historical.
Wait, hold on, Travis. Before you even do that, it was the sister who made the claim. We were utilizing that claim for her to prove it, and then Omar waffled and cried like a little baby and tried to change it and try to say, Hunter, you're the one that made that claim. You're the one that jumped in. No, I was the one that originally was having the conversation, and then Omar jumped in. It wasn't 2 versus 1 or anything like that. We were having a conversation. He was told, do not interrupt until we're done. We were not done. He still jumped in. Period.
Okay, I just want to clarify. I did not say it confirms. I said it affirms.
You did, but then you changed your answer.
No, I said affirm. You heard me.
The Quran says it confirms. Chapter 12, verse 111.
I don't need to.
The Quran says it confirms previous scripture. Chapter 12, verse 1.
It confirms. What does it confirm? Now, listen to me, okay? Because this is my Quran. This is my religion. I'm not going to sit there and try to force you to believe something about your religion. That's up to you. It says that there's what it tells us and what we know from Quran and Hadith. So not everything is in the Quran. There's Hadith too. I can't directly.
I have the Quran.
I got my education. I know and understand the concept, but I don't have the direct quotes. You're free to look for it. You will find it. The Quran and the Hadith tell us that these religions in their time were true religions. We know this.
Safa, hold on. You're going on a tangent. This is what the Quran actually says. Chapter 12, verse 111. So it says, this message cannot be a fabrication. Rather, it is a confirmation of previous revelation, a detailed explanation of all things, a guide and a mercy for the people of faith. So it even says it is a confirmation of previous revelation. You just said that that it's not a confirmation.
I didn't. No. I said I didn't say it's a confirmation.
Okay, so the Quran.
I'm very careful with my wording.
So the Quran says it is a confirmation. That's what the Quran says. That's what I'm reading.
So can you tell me what a confirmation? Can you define to me what a confirmation is?
Confirmation just means that it asserts to be true of previous things that were said in previous scriptures. That's what it's saying. So when it comes to the Quran, it says that the previous scriptures are in fact true. And so
what's the verse?
I'm sorry?
What's the verse? Because you and Hunter spoke to her, so
12,
there should be
11,
no problem.
I think.
You're still not supposed to be interrupting.
12. No. Okay, sister, please don't come up. They're just sister. They're being dishonest. They're running to you from me. Please just don't come up, okay, on these dishonest lives. Wallah, it's haram.
Travis,
Wallah, haram.
what was the chapter and verse?
So give me the verse that you gave to say that the Quran confirms the New Testament, please.
12:111.
12:111. Let's read it and let's confirm it. Let's put that next to your claim that it confirms the New Testament.
I literally just read it.
So let me read it. I'm going to read the verse. I want to read it as well, okay? No problem. So it says, there is a lesson in the stories of such people from whom understand. For those who understand, this revelation is no fabrication. It is a confirmation of the truth of what was sent before it.
And
an explanation of, let me finish, and an explanation of everything, an explanation of everything, a guide and a blessing for those who believe. So this is saying that the Quran is a confirmation of what was sent before it. So the Quran comes and confirms what was sent before it. So what was sent before it was, we believe that the Injil, as chapter 5 verse 46 says, was revealed to Isa. And we believe that the Torah was also revealed by Allah. So this confirms those previous scriptures in their origin.
Thank you.
And let me finish, please allow me to finish, because you complained about me interrupting. God logic, please. They complained about me interrupting. I got dropped, so please allow me to finish my response.
Literally, Omar came in here.
You literally interrupted him.
So,
Omar,
and they complained about that. So how?
So literally, in your turn right now, it is a turn of interruption.
Okay, fine. So we're just going to keep interrupting. No problem, then. That's fine.
No,
So I'm just going
Omar,
to keep over
you are
talking.
the
So
only
that's
one
fine.
that's
According to
interrupting.
you, they can interrupt. So I'm just going to continue talking. That's
No,
fine.
you're the one who
Since you want the live.
interrupted. You interrupted
No.
Hunter when he was
I
talking,
don't want them to
Omar,
be dishonest
and
with
now
the
you're
sister.
still interrupting me as I'm
Yeah, you
talking
just
to
told
you.
me I'm allowed. You just said we're allowed.
No. He gave you leeway to
now we're
read the
not.
verse in the middle of
Okay.
his point. So you need to
No.
understand where you come in. You interrupted him when he was talking to her. He was literally
no
in the
worries.
middle of talking. You came up and said,
I don't
"What's
care.
the
I
verse?
don't want him to
What's the
speak to
verse?
her
What's the
because
verse?"
that's
He then
dishonest.
gave you the
Well,
verse,
he
and then
did
you
make
said,
a claim, though. He has
read it.
every right
He
to
Then he
made
ask
a
said,
him.
"Oh, excuse me." Then he said, "Okay, go ahead and read it." So he
Yeah.
let you read the verse, but this is in the middle of his point.
Can I
You
ask
understand?
you a
No, I
question?
asked. That's not true. I asked him for the. He finished, by the way. I asked him for the verse, and then he gave
Hunter,
the
did
verse.
you
I
finish your
actually
point?
still never finished, and
Exactly.
you
He was still
constantly
in the
keep
middle of
interrupting.
speaking.
Okay, no
Well,
worries. So
I've
leave-
So he
been
allowed you to
talking
read
to
the
both
verse
Travis
so that he
and
could continue with his
everything.
point.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna let him speak, so there's no excuses.
No, you
Everyone,
don't.
I want
I
every
don't need
day,
your
every
permission.
day,
This isn't
every
your room.
day, every day. I want you to address me. I'm gonna ask you one time, and I'm gonna let you speak, and I'm gonna mute myself. Show me from where in the Quran it confirms the New Testament, please. That's simple question answer. I don't want to waffle. You can speak now. Go ahead.
Hold the position that your Quran is ignorant on what the gospel is. So that's not our
You're
argument.
jumping in according to their logic. Why are you jumping in? Be consistent, right? There was crying when I jumped in to defend the system.
You're wanting to
It was
create a
literally
fallacious
me,
argument.
Travis,
Okay,
And have
which
a,
one of you? Which one of you want to discuss this with me? I'm not just going to.
We're all here. We're
Which
all
one?
here to talk. We're all
Yeah,
here to
Omar,
talk.
you're
So
supposed
God
to
logic,
wait
maybe
until
you're
we're
more
finished.
man than
We're
they
all
are.
here
God
to talk.
logic, show me where in the Quran it confirms the New
Hold on,
Testament.
Omar,
Say the one to answer. Where in the
Hold
Quran
on,
does it confirm the New
Omar.
Testament? God logic.
Hold on, Omar. You were supposed to wait until we were finished, not the other way around. You came in and interrupted us, and you're supposed to wait until we're finished with our
No.
conversation.
Okay, sister, can you leave so I don't use you as an excuse?
Oh my
All of
Why are
goodness.
you
us.
telling her to leave?
Because you're being dishonest. You're not speaking
If
with me.
you
Can I
tell
speak
her to
to
leave,
them?
I'll kick you. Don't tell nobody
Okay, that's
to leave
fine.
my
Well,
live.
that's fine. And if
Don't
the
tell nobody
sister
to leave my
stays, she's
live.
gonna get sin.
I don't
If the
do none of
sister
that. I don't do none of that. You're not
How
gonna
am
come
I
up here
getting?
and
Can
try to
I
tell
wait?
people to leave
Can
the
I
live
ask
stream. That's
Ahmad
a
a
coward move.
question?
That's a coward
Ahmad,
move. Don't tell nobody to leave.
how am I getting sins? Can you explain to me if I am talking about Islam and I'm not saying anything incorrect for Islam?
Crazy.
I shouldn't be getting sins, correct?
It's
Am I,
a cult, it's a
Because you're
cult
not,
did I
because
say
you're not
mentality.
anything
studied.
It's
incorrect?
cult mentality.
Sister, with all due respect, because you're not studying.
Omar,
You're
why
not
are you
live
still
with 600
talking?
people, right? I'm not disrespecting you.
It's cult mentality. That's what it is.
Oh no!
Can you guys not don't kick him yet, brother?
I needed to get his
The-
explanation.
only
and
let
you
me
didn't
kick
even
him,
let me
moderators,
get that.
please.
You
Only
didn't
let me
even let me
only
get
let
his
me do it.
explanation. Another thing I want to say is that I'm talking with everything and Travis, and now that you guys are talking with me and Umar, you have a problem with it. I've
Oh no, it's
noticed
not
that
that.
you guys like to put one
Now, there's no
person
issue
up.
with talking to people. It's when the rules were stated clearly. Don't interrupt. And Omar specifically told to wait until the conversation was finished because that's what always happens when Omar comes on, is that it becomes a dumpster fire and we can't end up actually having a conversation because he tries to dictate and try to boss everybody around and try to move the conversation to where we're actually getting somewhere when it comes to the points we're having a rational conversation. We're trying to talk to you about something, and he wants to come in and deflect that, and we call it the Muslim shuffle, the Dawa dash, because he's literally running away
He's
from
not
what we're
though.
actually
He
trying to
just all
say.
he did. So like
Was
all I
run
saw him
away
do
from
is
what I
he
was
read
actually
the
trying to
verse
say.
completely. So do you agree with
No,
me that when
before
you pull a
that, he
verse
was
out
even
of
running
a book,
away.
the Bible, you can't just read one verse in the Bible. You need to read multiple verses in order to get an understanding of what's actually going on. So when
Right.
you tell me this verse says this, that's not enough information whatsoever. So if you're just pulling out verses and explaining, then you're actually producing an ignorant argument.
It's not an ignorant argument if it says what it says. And the issue with what we're
No,
having
it is
here,
ignorant when
the
you
issue
don't
that we're
provide
having here is
context
that
to
when it
what it
comes to the
says.
Quran, making claims about previous revelation as if it is true, we talk about those previous revelations, which we still have today, and it doesn't confirm what Islam teaches.
Yeah,
Hold on.
let's hold on,
Before
guys,
anybody-
hold on, Safa, respectfully, let's go ahead. Let's try to have this. Let Omar lead the discussion on the Muslim side, and since you can chime in whenever you want. You're still here. You're still part of the conversation, but I don't want him to have an excuse to try to say, oh, you guys are. Yeah, I want. Let's let him lead the conversation on the.
It's
Muslim
not an
side.
excuse, by the way. It's because I have work soon. I just wanted to quickly get through it.
So Omar,
Mhm.
you agree that the Quran affirms the gospel, correct?
Okay, am I speaking with you or him? Just so I know.
You're speaking with all of us.
I'm not. No, this is not a 1v4.
You're speaking with all of us.
I'm going to speak with one of you. I don't mind
You're going
doing
to speak
but I'm not
with
gonna
all
do-
of us. Whoever
I'm
wants
going
to chime in the conversation.
Okay, no worries.
Safa's
So
in
next
it.
time, okay,
Matter of
guys,
fact,
record
hold on.
this.
Will it make you more comfortable if I bring another Muslim up here?
You're gonna bring some random like person like
no,
he's
not random. He's actually pretty smart. I like Sunni Muslim.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Pretty smart.
That's perfectly fine. May Allah bless him. No problem.
All right. So are you happy
so
now?
my question, yeah, I'm happy. Thank you. So,
okay, so I just do you affirm that the Quran affirms the gospel?
That's fine. Yes, of course. It affirms the Injil, which is chapter 5, verse 46, says was revealed to Isa by Allah. Yeah, we believe that. However, just please allow me to expand. You guys made the claim that the Quran confirms the New Testament. So I'm asking for evidence. Okay, no, literally I had Hunter, and after I left Travis literally interrupted.
Wallah, I didn't. Allah,
no, Wallah, she didn't.
I didn't.
No, she said it. She said it confirms previous scriptures, never the New Testament. She never said
you did say confirm, but then changed it.
You said the previous scriptures, but you're presupposing the previous scripture is the New Testament, so you're lying on her name.
No worries. So Omar.
So again, it gives my question: where does the Quran confirm the New Testament?
Omar, just let me clarify. So you're saying that the gospel that it affirms is not the New Testament, right?
Okay, so the Injil, as stated in the Quran, chapter 5, verse 46, is something given from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to Isa. Now, the New Testament, right, we have, for example, 4 Gospels, all 2nd century, written by anonymous authors, people who never met Jesus, never saw Jesus, and not eyewitnesses. However, they're written about Jesus after he allegedly died. But the Injil, the Gospel in the Quran, there's something, revelation from Allah to Isa, during his life. It's not something that was written about him by men. It was given to him from Allah. Yes, 546.
Yeah, where does the Quran say that the gospel was written in Jesus' lifetime?
I literally said it's not. What, can you hear me properly? I just said it's not.
Okay, so what was the gospel written?
Can you please listen to what I'm saying?
Omar, was the gospel written?
Okay, so the gospel or the Injil in the Quran refers to the revelation from Allah to Isa. Now, some of this information may have been written down, yes, but it doesn't mean the full thing was written, no.
Okay, who wrote it?
No, I just told you. Okay, I'm going to repeat it again. Just allow me to actually time instead of interrupting. So chapter 5 verse 46 clarifies that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the Injil to Isa, okay? Now this was revelation. Now Jesus would have spoke these words. Now these words may have been recorded within the New Testament, some of them. However, this does not let me finish just 1 second. Yeah, there's no problem with that because we have certain traditions. We have certain traditions which can be passed down, as Luke chapter 1 verse 1 to 3 says. It says that we got information passed down to us and we recorded that. That's fine.
So here, Omar, you're making a lot of assertions.
Let me finish. Let me give me 10 more seconds. You don't interrupt. Thank you. I appreciate that, host. So, because of the fact that some small parts or some bits may be recorded from an authentic tradition, the majority is still not authentic, and we find many contradictions, many corruption in the text. So, this does not mean it agrees with it does not confirm the entire New Testament or sort of this, right? If you want to say that it confirms a small certain aspect,
I got you, bro. I got you. You're going on too long. I got you.
Go ahead.
So you just affirmed that the New Testament is this gospel.
No, I didn't say that.
At least part of this gospel was revealed to Jesus. Yes,
That's what I said. I said the other way around.
When did he say that?
I never said it is the gospel.
If you want to correct me, just correct me a little bit after that. At least.
No problem. Let me just wait. Can I open my notepad so I can write down what you're saying?
You literally just said that some of the New Testament, or some of the words of this gospel, some of this revelation. The question was it written? You said yes, right? You said it could have been written. My question was, who wrote it?
I didn't say that. I said that the Injil that Allah gave to Isa was written. I never said that. I said Jesus or Isa was revealed information by Allah, and then
really what he just asked.
I said, okay, Hunter, you can go back and mute. Boy. I said, and then this revelation may have been written down. That does not mean that the Injil is the New Testament. That's false, and it's a straw man fallacy. You literally made it. Okay, you're asking a question. I wrote the question down. You said, was it written? Who was it?
Yeah,
I'm addressing the claim you made 5 claims. I'm going to answer your question, but I need to address those claims first.
Run on sentence, man.
No. If you don't want me to address your claims, don't make claims.
My only question is on this one right now. Please.
No, but you made multiple claims,
please.
though.
I only didn't answer you. I only responded off of what you said. Only what you said. I didn't make no extra claims.
Okay, if you don't want me to address your claims, don't make claims.
Omar,
okay,
please.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Was the gospel written, yes or no?
Okay. What do you mean by the gospel? You're talking about in entirety, or you're talking about some of it?
That was revealed to Jesus, written down at any point, yes or no?
Yeah, that's the thing. We don't know. If you mean by parts of it, like some just let me finish, dude. Let me finish.
You got it.
Okay, when you say the Injil, are you referring to the entire revelation Allah revealed to Isa, as stated in chapter 5?
It's very simple. The Injil that was revealed to Jesus that you're referring to in 546.
Yeah.
Was it written? Yes or no?
We don't know unless you can give some sort of verse which says that it was written down. We don't know.
Good. I got you. Can you open up chapter 7, verse 1 to 7?
Yeah, sure. So I know this, sir. It talks about how the prophet is in the scriptures. That's fine. However, let's go to that. You know, I'm going to go to that right now.
Don't know it. Read it. So
Wait, let's go. Wait, please allow me to read the verse. Allow me to read the verse.
Please read it.
Okay, study. You can go back on mute and make sure this time you don't put your camera on by accident. Okay. So listen, God logic, as I was saying. So you said that. What was it? You said, the evidence for this claim, right? You said evidence for the claim that the Injil was written.
They described.
I mean, I'm reading can you read Arabic? Because I'm reading the translation.
The word is maktuba. Do you know Arabic?
Okay, maktuba. Can you tell me what that means?
No, you tell me what it means.
You made the claim. I don't need to. The burden's upon you. By definition,
wait. No. Omar, relax. Slow down.
I'm relaxed, but you're making. You don't know the burden of
What
proof.
does the word maktuba mean?
Yeah, so it says, as stated here, if you go to Quran.com, it says written. That's fine.
Thank you so much. So the word is written, not described.
No, but
and
listen,
so
you're missing there's a problem
excuse me.
Okay, that's fine.
It says that the unlettered prophet is found written where?
It does. Oh my God, described here is the same thing as written. If it's described in the Torah, it means it's written in the Torah. That doesn't prove anything. Yeah, can I just answer? Please allow me to answer.
Where?
Can you give me a full answer, please? Give me 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
I used the word describe. I'm going to answer, but you made a claim. Me saying the word describe doesn't do anything. Dude, let me finish. The word described being used does not negate anything. It's the same as written here, because if it's described in the Torah, it means it's written in the Torah. So that was a frivolous point.
Okay, we'll go as long
let me
as
answer your question.
Okay, I got you.
You just made a frivolous point.
Hold on. Let me just say this. I'm gonna let you continue. As long I have no problem. As long as you did not, run away from the fact that it's written, that it means written. You're saying that described and written are the same thing. It means
in this context, yeah, because
cool. I got you.
If a prophet is described in a text, if it means it's written in the text. So yeah, in this case, it's synonymous. So that point you made was relevant.
So you find the unlettered prophet written where?
Okay, so I'm going to read it again, right? Just in this order, right? So we can get what the text says. So those who follow the messenger, the unlettered prophet, they had find described in the Torah that is with them, and in the gospel. Now, just 1 second. This is an important point.
Written where?
The word Injil. I already said it 3 times. I'm going to say it again.
Where is it written?
I didn't say it. You're lying.
Where is it written?
I said that the unlettered prophet, where they find described in the Torah that is with them and in the gospel.
So the gospel was written?
Dude, allow me to. No, that does not mean you're equivocating 2 Injils, though. Just 1 second. This is actually a fallacy. Yeah. No, this is a fallacy, actually. I'm going to educate you on. No. Just let me finish. So the word Injil is used in the Quran to mean 2 different things depending on the context, okay?
Really?
It refers to, yes, really. Look at chapter 5, verse 47. And look at this, for example. Yes, really. You obviously don't know Islamic scholarship position on this. Yes. So the Injil can refer to the Injil that was revealed to Isa. Or it can refer to the Injil that was at the Prophet's time, understand? Right? The Gospel, because the 4 Gospels within the Christian land was referred to as Gospel, even though it's in the singular. That's fine. No, this is true. This is true. So let me finish. Yeah, thank you. I'm going to finish.
At least like 30 more.
Just put a timer on quickly, because I feel like your 30 seconds is going to be 10 seconds.
No, my 30 seconds might have been a minute, honestly.
Oh, no, it's just that. It couldn't have been. Okay, anyways. So the Injil, right, can refer in the Quran to the Injil which was revealed to Isa. Or Injil can refer to the 4 Gospels at the time of the Prophet, or the Gospel at the time of the Prophet, because of the fact that Christians themselves called the 4 Gospels Gospel. They use the word Gospel, right, to refer to a multiplicity of books. So there's different contexts that it's used in. So it does not mean here, just because it says that the Prophet is prophesied in the Gospel at Prophet's time, it does not therefore follow to say that we have the whole Injil, whole revelation of Isa in the New Testament. That's not how it works. That's fallacious. It's a non sequitur. And it's an equivocation fallacy of the 2 terms Injil.
Is that 30 seconds stuff?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, cool. Yeah, because he's going over. So, dude, nowhere in your Quran does it make a distinction of the 2 Gospels. Nowhere does it make a distinction of this at all. I would challenge you to show me where there's a distinction between the gospel given to Jesus and the gospel that's in existence in the 7th century. Matter of fact, you keep going to chapter 5.
But we can go to it. I'm gonna use the Quran.
Whoa! This is where you cut yourself. This is where you cut yourself. In chapter 5, Omar, what's wrong with you? Calm down, bro. In chapter 5, verse 46, you keep quoting it. How it talks about how we gave the gospel to Jesus, right? Confirming the Torah that came before it. And then the next verse says, so let the people of the gospel, what gospel? The same gospel that was revealed to Jesus that I just mentioned in verse 46, judge by what Allah has revealed in it. Whoever does not judge by what Allah has revealed in it are amongst the evildoers and the losers. So according to your own argument, Omar, the Quran is saying that the Christians have the gospel that was revealed to Jesus. You just cut yourself with that verse.
No,
No,
because
not
wallahi,
really.
wallahi, wait.
Hold on, Safa. So I'm gonna let you respond to this, but we're gonna go back to 7:157.
I was going to quote this verse, by the way. This was my wallahi al-azim, with Allah as my witness. This is the exact verse I was going to use to disprove you. SubhanAllah, thank you for going to verse 47. By the way, it doesn't say so. You quoted the Arabic, but you don't know the Arabic because it doesn't say so. The word is wa. Wa in Arabic with a waw and a fatha
is and, correct?
And so ma bta'arif Arabi,
right?
ya habibi, ma bta'arif Arabi. Don't quote the Arabic when you don't know the Arabic, my friend. What does it say? It says very clearly, وَلْيَحْكُمْ, which means and, not so and also there's two different interpretations. I'm going to give you the one by Imam al-Qurtubi, which is this interpretation, and I'm going to give you the other interpretation, both of which refute you and make the distinction between the Injil at Isa and the Injil at the Prophet's time. Very simple, my friend. So when he says the word wa, according to Imam al-Qurtubi in his tafsir, he says this, okay? When he says وَلْيَحْكُمْ, it refers to the people at Isa's time, because it says, let's look at the context of the previous verse, which you haven't read. So the context of the previous verse, it talks about this. He said, we sent Isa ibn Maryam, the son of Mary, in their footsteps, right, to confirm the Torah that we sent before him, and we gave him the gospel with guidance, light, and confirmation. Next verse. And let the followers of the gospel judge. So one view of this is that it refers back to Isa's people, which is the view of Imam Qurtubi. However, the second view, which is the one that I'm going to use to refute you on this claim to make a distinction, is this. Now, it says in verse 46, we gave Isa the Injil, okay? Now, let's take a look at verse 47. So even if we understand it as saying so, it refutes you more. Because, so now it's saying in one verse, 46, we gave Isa the Injil. What does verse 47 say? It says, so let, according to you, so let the followers of the gospel judge to what God has sent down in it. So why does it have to specify judge according to what God has sent down in it if the full thing was from God? It doesn't make sense. It's like saying, it literally does not make sense. It's like Allah saying, use this Quran to judge, but only from this Quran use that which God revealed in it. That would mean that there's that which is in it that is not from Allah, because otherwise it would not specify in the verse, only so let the followers of the gospel judge only according to what God has sent down in the gospel. So clearly,
right, I'm about to respond now.
This just please, 10 seconds, just 10 seconds. So this in itself shows a distinction. This means that there must be that which there must be this gospel which contains information not by God. Otherwise, it would not specify the people to follow only that which was revealed by God. It wouldn't make that distinction. So that refutes you, bro. Please don't ever do that again. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. So you made a false distinction there. So you have you have in the previous verses, which the verses that you haven't read, where it talks about how the Jews were coming to Muhammad for judgment, right? And the verse says, why do they come to you when they have the Torah in which my judgments are in? Wait, hold on a second. According to your logic, there's a distinction between the Torah and then Allah's judgments, meaning that only some of this Torah has Allah's judgments. No, that's not what it says. It says that you have the Torah, which Allah's judgments are in, period. And so then you continue to go on. Then it even, ironically quotes our Torah, the book of Exodus, about, the eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, and all these things. Then you get to the part where Jesus here, then we revealed to Jesus, sent down to Jesus the gospel, confirming the Torah that came before it, and let the people of the gospel judge by what Allah has revealed in it. Are you kidding me? It's saying that the gospel, that Allah's revelation is in the gospel. It's not saying that there's the gospel and then there's Allah's revelation, and so therefore there's some of the gospel that contains some of the revelation of Allah. That is copium at its finest. That's copium at its finest. Then it will go on to say in the next verse, in the very next verse, it will go on to say, talking about Muhammad, that we have given you the book, confirming that which is in between your hands of the previous scripture, the Torah and the gospel that it just talked about, right? And so do not follow their vain desires, yada, yada, yada. And then it continues to say that we have prescribed to each of you a law. To who? To who? The people that I was just talking about. The people of the Jews, they got the Torah. The people of the gospel, they got the gospel. And the people of Islam, they have the Quran. So your Quran in the very next verse compares all the books of God as the laws for these prospective people. For these people, the Torah, the Jews use the Torah.
Ya
The Christians
Allah.
use the gospel.
Ya
The Muslims
Habibi.
use the Quran, and God has given each of them their own law to judge by.
Ya
So for
Habibi.
you to try to say, excuse me,
Uh-huh.
for you to try to say that there's a distinction here is mind-boggling to me.
It's mind-boggling.
But I have a question on this. I have a question.
Wait, let me. You made a lot of claims.
I have a
Stop
question.
talking, Omar.
I'm gonna answer your question as long as you let me respond to
Yeah,
those
this is
claims
my
as well,
question
yeah?
on this.
Okay, go ahead.
Because we got away from 7157. If you're trying to say that the gospel is not what we have, and that some of the New Testament may contain this gospel that was revealed to Jesus, here's my question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where in this gospel will you find the mention of Muhammad written in it? Where? That's my question.
Great. Okay, let me just a second. You said, what's the question? Repeat one last time. I'm going to write at the very bottom of all the...
In 7157,
Yeah, okay, I know that, yeah.
you said that our gospel is not this, that our New Testament contains some of this gospel.
Okay, got it. I remember the question.
My question is,
yeah.
where in
in the
this gospel, in this Injil,
Yeah.
this magical Injil that you're talking about,
Yeah.
where in this gospel do we find Muhammad written in it?
Beautiful, great. Okay, so I'm going to respond. I wrote down your question. Don't worry, I'm going to put it with like an explanation mark so I remember it at the end. So a few points. Firstly, you made a claim that I made a false distinction. No, I didn't. It literally specifies. There's a very clear distinction. One reverse, one literally says, we give Isa the Injil. The other one says, according to you, so let the people of the Prophet judge. This makes a distinction, obviously.
People of the gospel.
Wait, the people of the gospel, yeah, it doesn't matter. People of the gospel, whatever.
It does matter.
No, it doesn't. You know, it's a frivolous point because I said what I meant. You know what I meant. So listen,
making sure.
it says very clearly, there is a distinction. I told you the two views, right? And I guarantee you, if I challenge you and I asked you what the two views was, you'd have already forgotten because you didn't listen. So I told you the view by Qurtubi says that it refers back to Isa's time, okay? Because it doesn't say so. The word used is well. It literally said, let me get the verse. The word used is وَلْيَحْكُمْ, okay? وَلْيَحْكُمْ, which means and let judge. So I told you again, according to the previous verse, we sent Isa bin Maryam in their footsteps to confirm the Torah, and we gave him the gospel. Verse 47 says, and let the followers of the gospel judge. So it was continuation insofar as it refers to the people of Isa. Now, this is one interpretation.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
this is one interpretation. So thank you. You proved my point. You didn't listen to me the first time. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been shocked because I already said this.
No.
Now, the
It's
second
funny
interpretation, which
again,
I
actually.
myself, but the second interpretation, which I myself find
it's
more.
funny hearing you
Dude, allow me
cope
to
with this
finish
for the
because you
second
complain
time.
about cope. You can say I'm coping, but I mean I'm refuting.
Can you get to my question, please?
Let me finish. Yeah, bro, you made like 10 points. I wrote 1,
Only
2,
because
3,
you made
4,
10.
5, 6. Six
Let's-
things I
let's
wrote
narrow
down
this
before I
stuff
address
down
your
and get to the
question.
question.
I've got 6 things written down before I address your question because you made 6 points. So, as I said, this is one view that I just told you by Imam al-Qurtubi, for example, an Arabic expert. However, I personally am going to not use that to refute you because I don't need to. The other one is simpler, which is because I know you don't know Arabic, so you won't understand this type of argument. So, the better example, which may allow you to understand this interpretation, is this. So, it makes a distinction because it says, so let the followers of the gospel judge to what God has sent down in it, in the gospel. If the entire gospel was the revelation of Allah, why would it specify, so let the gospel followers judge according to what Allah has revealed in it? That doesn't make sense because it's making a distinction. It's specifying a specific portion, which is that which Allah had revealed in it. But if the full thing was revelation, why would it clarify only that which God has revealed in it? It doesn't make sense. If the full thing was uncorrupted, God wouldn't specify a certain part of the text that we must take. That's not how it works. So this in of itself shows a distinction. Now, next point as well. So this is the thing, yeah. So it's not a false distinction. That's your point 1 addressed. Now, let me just do that. So second one, you said, let's see. So you mentioned, you went on a little rant, a red herring fallacy, actually, because you said, oh, well, why does it say that the judgment...
Omar, I need to get to my question, bro. You're not going to talk forever.
I know your question. Okay, your question was, where in the gospel do we find the prophet?
Get to my question.
No, you made 5 claims. I'm going to answer them, then I'm going to answer your question.
No.
You made 6 claims. Let me respond to your claims.
Omar, you're not going to go on a monologue.
I'm not. Give me 30
question.
seconds. Just give me 30 seconds and I'll be finished. I'll answer your question. 30 seconds. I can respond to the other claims you made. Start it now. Okay. You mentioned the judgments are within this book. Now, this specifically, if you read the context, refers to the Jews, because look at what it actually says in verse 45. You didn't read this. It says, in the Torah, we prescribed for them a life for a life, eye for an eye. So in this way, yes, this is revelation from Allah. So you didn't read the context. You didn't know this because this confirms this ruling which Allah revealed. Thank you. Next thing. That's also a red herring because we're not talking about the Torah. Right?
That's
not 30 seconds. That's 15 seconds.
No, that's enough. Because you're just going on.
No, you jump to the Torah. We're talking about the Injil, not the Torah. So stick to the Injil, not the Torah, okay?
You're not even going to answer the question.
I am. Give me 15 seconds. I'm telling everyone right now.
I'm going to respond to you
No,
and then
okay.
you're going to answer my question.
No, because you're just making more claims and you're not letting me address them.
Mute up, please.
Let me address your claims, godlogic.
Mute up, please.
Let me address your claims.
This is the
Let me
response.
address your
Mute up,
claim.
please.
Let me
Mute
address your
up,
claim.
please.
Give me 10
Mute
seconds.
Mute
Give me
up.
10
I already
seconds.
gave you 30 seconds.
No, you didn't give me 30 seconds. You're a liar.
Mute up, please. Thank you.
You give me 15
Mute
seconds.
up, please. I'm going to
I've got
respond.
a timer. You give me 15
Omar,
seconds.
mute up.
You're
I'm
lying.
going to
You're
respond.
lying.
Thank you so much. So, with
That's
you going
hilarious.
on your little rant and your monologue, you didn't answer or address anything.
Because you didn't
You're
let
just
me.
repeating. Okay, I just got to do this.
Shut up
Go.
and listen.
It's okay. This is straight panic mode. This is what they do. So, with you going on a rabbit trail, not addressing anything that's said, and still just repeating your false argument doesn't do anything for you. You trying to say again? Oh my goodness!
I wrote everything you said down. Why
This
are you
is the
lying?
same thing I said.
I addressed every single thing you said. What are you talking about?
Mute up, bro. Like being in panic mode doesn't help you.
Said. Don't lie.
Being in panic mode doesn't help you.
It's not panic.
Watch this. Watch this, guys. This is similar. This is Omar's thinking. Omar's thinking is, it says, and let the people of the gospel judge by what Allah has revealed in it. Oh, that means that there's a distinction between the entire gospel and then what was actually revealed in it.
Exactly.
What the content is. Okay. So if that's the case with Omar, watch how this backfires. This logic backfires.
Show me how.
Because, for example, chapter 12, verse 111, it says about the Quran. Omar, mute your mic, dude.
Okay.
Mute your mic, or I'm gonna have to put you down and just bring it back up.
Because I won't come.
Thank you so much. You don't have to come back. I know that you'll be running. It's all good. It's all good. So just mute your mic, please. Thank you so much. It's the last time I'm gonna ask you. So, with that being said, you have in the Quran, chapter 12, verse 111, it says, and we brought you. Hold on, let me just read it. Let me just read it out for you guys. Just showing you the fallacy of Omar's logic here. He just destroyed the Quran. Because this means that not all of the Quran is revelation, only these particular parts. Oh my gosh. That's one of the dumbest arguments I've ever heard.
Hey, Avery.
So look, watch this. Watch this. In their stories, verily there is a lesson for men of understanding. It's talking about the Quran, is no invented story. It's no fabrication, but a confirmation of what came before it, and a detailed explanation of everything, and a guidance and a mercy for folk who believe, those who believe. Wait a second. Why, if it mentions the Quran and how it's a revelation and how it's a confirmation of the previous scriptures, then why does it then later talk about how it can be a guide and also an explanation or for those who believe? That means that not everything in the Quran is guidance and mercy. Not everything in the Quran is an explanation, but just some of those parts that contains Allah's revelation that have the guidance, that have the mercy for those who believe. Not all of the Quran consists of that. It's only particular parts, not all of it. That is just ridiculous to me. So please, do not go on no diatribe. Do not go on no monologue. Answer my question.
Oh my God, that's so disliked.
Where in the gospel do we find Muhammad written in the gospel?
Okay,
where? Don't waste my time doing anything else. Answer the question and stop running.
Yeah. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna open a timer. I'm gonna answer your question. I'm just gonna open a timer because
you're gonna start off by.
I'm going to start off by answering your question, but I'm going to hold the timer so you don't lie because you gave me 15 seconds earlier and you lied and said it was 30.
You're gonna only answer the question.
If I do not hear you answering my.
If I do not hear you dealing with my question,
I'm answering with the question, but you made 5 points, and what you're doing is dishonest.
If you do not start off, if you do not answer my question, that's when I'm going to cut in.
I'm going to answer your question, but I'm also going to address your points.
Go ahead, don't waste my time.
Great. So 1 minute. Your question is very simple.
You have.
Okay, fellas. What was it? I'll pause my time.
No, there is no time limit.
No, there is a time where you're going to close your mouth.
Let me tell you how this goes, Omar.
Yeah.
I'm the host. You're not.
Yeah.
So you're going to speak. You're going to speak. I'm giving you the floor to speak.
No.
If I do not hear you dealing with what I asked you, you will be cut off and then redirected. It's as simple as that.
Redirected, yeah. I agree.
So you have the floor. You have the floor. Answer my question. Deal with it honestly and directly.
I'm going to.
There you go.
No, I'm going to directly answer your question, but I also am going to answer a question you asked
previously. That's all you're dealing with. That's
No.
all you're dealing with.
No, you made 5 claims. Look how dishonest you are.
Yeah,
You don't want me to
I
address-
answered yours.
No, you don't want me. You don't want me to
So
address
let's go.
everything you said. That's why you're shutting me down.
I answered
answer
yours.
my
We're not going
question.
in a circle.
goodness,
So go.
just quit complaining.
I'm
and
going
answer
to
his
answer.
question. You're
Okay,
wasting
Munti,
your
Go.
time.
Go. Answer my question.
Let me go ahead. Okay. So the question was, start my time. Okay. So you said.
I don't know why
first
you're starting the
question,
timer.
oh my days! This guy does not shut his mouth.
Omar, it's not even your platform.
I mean, clean your teeth as well because you have like food between them. Anyways, let me respond. So
Yeah, the
yeah,
food between my teeth is you.
yeah. So
Eating you
You're
alive.
eating me, bro. But you're gonna eat me. Do you know how gay that is? Pause,
You
bro.
between my
Anyway.
teeth, boy.
Listen, boy, you're gay. So listen, you said where in the gospel do we find the prophet? Here's the flaw with that question. It's just fallacious because you're presupposing we have that same gospel. First point. Second point. Let me finish. I know you're getting excited. Your little food, all the little energies, all those like energy that you're getting. That's the first thing. Second thing. Second thing. Oh, okay. I'm gonna
was
just
whack.
pause my time. Let me start again.
Oh my, no, you
first-
did it.
Second point. You're now going, if you're moving the topic from does the Quran confirm the New Testament to, you went all over the place. Oh, does the Quran confirm the Torah is what you said earlier. You tried to prove that it confirmed the Torah. You moved to place. You literally used that. You said that the Quran confirms the Torah. This is what you said. So now
you
you're
have an
jumping
answer to the
around.
question or
Now
not?
you're going, I've already answered you. I said it's
Do you have-
fallacious. And
No,
let me
no, no.
expand on that.
Okay,
Let me
stop.
expand.
Okay,
No,
stop.
no, stop. No, No.
Stop.
Let me address your...
Fallacious means nothing to me.
Yeah, because I know
It's
because you
very
know that it's
simple.
fallacious.
It's
That's
very
why.
simple.
Yeah,
Your
it's simple.
Quran, mute up, please. Your Quran says
I'm not even finished.
that they will find Muhammad, I'm sorry, not Muhammad, they will find the unlettered prophet written in the gospel with them.
Okay, so
With
which
them.
verse? So again, because you mentioned
excuse me,
multiple verses. Which verse are you referring
excuse
to?
me.
Which verse
So
are you referring
if you're
to?
trying to say, Omar, if you're trying to say that we don't have that today, if that's what I'm hearing clearly, the cop out.
Well, the New
we don't
Testament
have that today. Excuse me.
Okay.
If we don't have this gospel today, no worries. Let's anything we know about the gospel, let's just take it out. Let's take it out. In
What?
the 7th century,
Yes.
what would the Christians have opened up where they would have find Muhammad written in their gospel? Where would they have found that?
So what you do, you're just presupposing. Just 1 second. You're presupposing that the Christian. There's a few addresses, right? I'm going to make multiple points to address that question because there's a few ways you can look at this. Okay, both of which refute you, or all of which refute you, I should say. Is this like, are you? I don't know. I've never seen someone laugh at themselves getting humiliated. Maybe that's something you have. Maybe that's something you're into. Okay, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
little-
maybe it is. So listen, as I was saying, anyways. So listen, buddy, it's very simple. Okay, it's like there's 2 responses. There's 2 ways I can go about this.
You said that already.
First thing, right, is this. I told you that you're presupposing that this refers to those with the same kind you have. Second point.
Did you hear the question?
You're changing the topic.
Did you hear the question?
Allow me to finish.
Wait, no. Did you hear the question?
Allow me to finish. You said
Did you hear
what
the
would they have?
question?
Let me finish.
Did you hear the question?
Let me finish. Did
you hear the question?
Okay, go ahead. Repeat your question. Repeat
I'll
your
repeat it for you. I'll repeat it.
So see, I'm just gonna overtalk you because you're playing games.
No,
Listen,
I'll repeat the question.
No, you made it plain.
Look, Omar.
You said where in the gospel? Your question was. I wrote it down. I wrote it down. Wallah,
Okay, let me hear you.
Come on, right now. You said this was your original question. The question you asked.
What
You
did I
where
just
in the
ask?
gospel? Where in the gospel do we find the prophet? I told you this question is fallacious. Don't interrupt. I know you're like looking. You're using all your brain cells right now. They're traveling 1 mile per hour.
What did I just ask, Omar?
You just asked. What did I just ask? Let me answer the
Okay,
question you asked.
stop.
You said where in the gospel? You said where in the gospel do we find the prophet?
You need my help. I got you.
I wrote it down.
This is what I asked you. Since you're saying that we don't have this gospel anymore, my question that I just asked you, numbnuts, was okay, in the 7th century, when it says that the gospel that is with them contains the description in the written, contains Muhammad described in their scripture, my question is, what would the Christians have opened up in the 7th century that they had with them to find Muhammad in their gospel? What was that? Answer the question.
I'm going to, as I said, there is a multiplicity of answers. I'm going to give you multiple views to respond.
So answer
to.
directly.
I'm answering directly if you don't interrupt. Again, there's
I'm giving you the floor to speak.
You keep saying you're contradicting yourself.
That's when I cut in.
You keep saying I'm giving you the floor while interrupting. In and of itself, it shows you're not giving me the floor because you're just interrupting. So anyways, the answers are this. It's very simple. We have this. So you're presupposing, right, that they had the same text. However, here's the problem with that. You're presupposing that they also
He's
have...
asking you.
This
Oh my
dude is
God,
crazy.
I'm trying to, but you don't let me finish. I
This
told you
dude is crazy.
there's a multiplicity of answers we can go with. Now, has the New Testament been corrupted after the Prophet's time? Yes. I can know multiple examples of significant theologically motivated corruption. For example, we have 1 John 5:7. We have many forms of corruption. So yes,
That's
it has
enough.
been
That's
considered.
enough.
What?
I'm cutting you off.
No, because you're not refuting you. No.
That's
Let me
enough.
finish.
That's enough. This is crazy.
I'm going to continue refuting.
Omar, you're the best.
No.
You're supposed to be the
I'm
best.
giving you the answer. You need to prove.
You're supposed to be among the
You need
best
to
of them.
prove. Who said I'm of the best? Is that your words? Thank you for the compliment.
Thank you for the
compliment. Thank you for the compliment, but I don't need it off you, okay? I'd rather get it off
You're
someone.
supposed to look.
I don't need your compliments, my guy.
Muslims, is this your king? This is your dude?
Look, don't call me a king. I'm literally nothing.
Is this your guy?
I just refuse dogs like you. That's all I do.
Is this your man's right here?
I'm not the king. I'm the king of you.
Because
He
for the
can't
past
answer,
10
so he's
minutes
going to
now,
insult.
He's been running away
I answered already, dude. Like, I
He's
don't
been
call me the
running
king.
away
That's
from the
cringe.
question. My man,
I'm not
it's
running. I
very
answered
simple.
you. I answered
It's
you.
very simple.
What was my answer?
You said
What was my
that
answer?
what they have exactly what we have.
I never said. I said you need to prove it is.
Problem.
No, I never
Here's
said
my
that.
question.
You're lying.
Bring up somebody to help you out.
Oh,
I'm giving you
okay.
another
So you're running
chance.
to others. Okay.
I'm bringing you another chance. What
Okay.
is the gospel that
Yes.
they would have been opening up to find Muhammad written in their gospel with them in the 7th century during
Great.
Muhammad's time?
Here's the problem.
What is that?
Oh my God! I just told you we don't know. My claim has been of a neutral position. You cannot claim it's the New Testament.
Oh,
You
boom.
What? Why are you laughing?
Doesn't know. How do you know it's not our
Oh
New
my
Testament?
God.
How do we know? Are you stupid? That's such
So-
a bad
so look
argument.
at this,
Let me
look at
respond.
this.
Let me finish my response.
He
I'm going to
doesn't know
overtalk
what
you.
the gospel. Hold on. He doesn't know
Oh my
what the
God.
gospel is, but he knows enough to tell me that my gospel isn't it.
I use scripture to prove that. I use scripture to prove that.
I believe in the
I
original
use
Quran.
scripture to prove that. What's your
I believe
point?
in the original Quran. What you have is not the original. It's been tampered with.
Why do you believe that?
But I don't have the. I
Prove
don't have
it's
no
been
evidence of
tampered
this
with. Go
original
ahead.
Quran.
Prove it's been tampered with.
We don't know. We have it.
Prove it.
Hey, brother.
I don't have
Here's the
to.
difference. Here's the difference.
I don't have
When
to.
I make the claim, when I say that about the New Testament,
Hey, he just told me to prove it, y'all.
When I
He
make the
just
claim,
told me to prove
when I
it.
make the claim, please listen. It's analogous, okay?
Answer the question.
Here's the problem with prove
That you
it.
don't-
If we take a look at Codex Sinaitic,
Yeah,
claim
he
about,
can't prove that I don't have the.
for example, can you please allow me to finish? Let me just show you why that's
Astaghfirullah.
Listen, one second. Let me show you, please, why that's this.
Astaghfirullah.
Let me show you why that's this. Here's the that, right? You cannot prove the Quran has been corrupted. We haven't got the Quran, it's been altered, but you have no proof. But
Can I
proof of the,
just real quick?
the New Testament claims that I made. Go ahead. Because we find so many verses missing, which we find in today's Bible. We have, for example, we have the pericope adultery, John chapter 7, verse 53, chapter 8, verse 11. We have the longer ending of Mark, chapter 16, verse 9 through 20. All
Too sucked in because he has the burden of proof is on him to prove that this corrupted gospel was not the gospel that Muhammad was talking about. Okay?
I said you
don't
need
get
to
too
prove
sucked
it
in,
is.
but you can answer it.
Wait, why are you muting
running this whole
Muslims?
time.
Why are you muting Muslims? Wait, why are you muting Muslims in the comments? Before we continue, why are you muting all the Muslims? Because I'm getting messages. I'm getting messages saying you're muting.
Shut up.
Omar, mute up. Omar. Now, you went away from your scholars because your scholars know.
I'm at work, so I only have a couple of seconds.
Oh. All right, Hunter, go ahead, man.
I don't know, just what I said.
Yeah, no, I was just actually going to say that because of the fact that you're referring to those verses that are not originally Codex Sinaiticus actually demonstrates that. What?
I made
Mute up and let him finish. My goodness, you just can't shut up.
Say the verses that you're mentioning is just simply utilized as, for example, forms where those verses not in fact be in the original, but that means because we know that they're in the earliest manuscripts, because of all the manuscripts and the containing verses that we have,
You just
actually
conceded
demonstrate.
corruption. You just said they weren't authentic, but they're in the Gospels. You just conceded corruption. No
Let the
way.
man finish
Can I
what he's saying.
He just said they're not in the original manuscripts, but they're in our Bibles. You just conceded corruption.
I actually didn't say that.
You just said that. You said they may not be authentic. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Look at this, guys. He just conceded his own book's corrupt. Mash. And he's going off.
Actually, what I was confirming was the fact that we don't have those in the earliest manuscript. The fact, hold on, let me just finish.
Go ahead.
The fact that we don't have those in the earliest manuscripts, but they actually demonstrate that we do have what literally when it comes to all of the manuscripts that we do have, that does contain. So of course, Daniel B. Wallace.
Let me finish.
He's answering. Let him finish.
No, I haven't finished my question though.
No, he's the one. You cut him off.
Oh my goodness! Look at the dishonesty. You don't want me to refute you. You know what you
But
just made.
just by the way, guys, He's trying to run to New Testament credibility.
No, you made the claim.
Running away from what his
No,
Quran says.
you brought this into the discussion. You guys brought this into
So
the
just make
discussion.
sure what he's doing.
You said they may not clarify. You made a claim. You said, I'm going to show. Wait, you contradicted yourself. You said this. Yeah,
go ahead and finish, Hunter. Go ahead and finish, Hunter. We're listening.
No, I was just simply stating that because of the manuscript tradition, it's not that any verses were taken out or the New Testament was corrupted or anything like that. It's the fact of the matter that when it comes to anything that was added later on or anything like that, we know what was added later on, but nonetheless, and actually here's the crux of the matter, we know for a fact what was added. And so because of the fact that we know
so there was things added then, right?
No.
You just said we know what was added. Now you're saying there was nothing added. That's contradictory. How can you know?
You're all over the place. You're not even letting me answer.
How can you know what was added if nothing was added?
Go ahead, Hunter, and finish, Hunter.
Thank you. You don't know what you're talking about.
Go ahead and finish, Hunter.
No, you're trying to make me say something that I'm actually not saying.
You just said it yourself. You said it yourself.
No, you're just desperate.
Okay.
All you're being is desperate right now. So what I was saying was because of the manuscript tradition that we have, and you're wasting a lot of time here. I understand what you're trying to do. You're trying to run away. But when it comes to the manuscript tradition, because we know from the manuscript tradition, the textual variants or anything like that, we know what the variants actually are. And because we know what the variants actually are, we know what the originals are. For example, you will never, ever, ever, ever say 1 John 5:5 is a corrupted text. Nobody says that. They make a lot of claims about 1 John 5:7. They make a lot of claims about the woman caught in adultery, but nothing about any other stories that are found in the Gospels or the New Testament are determined to be unreliable or non-original or anything like that. You're simply cherry picking the ones that have textual variants to it and saying, because there's these variants, that means the entire New Testament is corrupted. No, that's not the case at all. You can't even say that as a Muslim because your unlettered prophet is contained in the New Testament, but you don't think that part is corrupted. And because we know the parts that actually are the variants of it, that means we know what the originals actually said. And what's ironic is that the majority of the New Testament that we have today is what was.
Wait, can I get big screen? Wait, let me respond to what he said. Be a man, at least. I mean, Hunter's a man. I respect him. I respect him a little bit. No. Don't run. Give me big screen. Give me big screen. Godlogic, give me big screen.
Original back then, period.
The scholars say about the gospel. Okay, so the scholars know exactly where to find Muhammad in the Gospels, right? In Haleli Khan's study Bible or study Quran, he says you will find Muhammad in the book of John, right? John is very specific. So does Lombard in his study Quran. So does Ibn Ishaq in the 8th century. So we know what the authentic gospel is according to your scholars. So this little thing that you brought up, you threw your scholars under the bus. Don't let them run the textual criticism, Hunter. Don't. Never mind. But yeah, just catch him with his scholars. He was lying about a whole bunch of stuff.
Yep.
And Avery and Danny, they found the original Quran, and that's why we're original Quran only Christians. The original Quran was good enough to unalive for, or to be unalive for, according to Muhammad. He tried to unalive himself when the original Quran was revealed, and the person that gave it to him died. So we know what the original Quran is.
Let's just be clear on what we got out of this so far, and the reason why he was removed, and he was doing this on purpose because he wanted to get kicked, is he started calling us dogs, boy, all this kind of stuff. Man, you're in straight panic mode. You got to cope. This is what happens, man. What we got from Omar the Muslim, and you can come back up once you humble yourself and you're able to have a straight man-to-man conversation. What we got from Omar is this. Christians, you don't have the gospel. How do you know, Omar? Well, because you have textual variants. How do you know that this gospel full of textual variants is not the gospel that Muhammad was referring to? Well, because what? Because we don't know what it is. Wait, what was the gospel that the Christians was going to open up to find Muhammad written in their scripture? We don't know. So then how do you know that my gospel is not it? Because you have textual variants. What a freaking numbnut. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. Just as illiterate as Muhammad. It's crazy. But this is their guy. This is their guy, and he can't do any proper exegesis of his own scripture. This is what gets in trouble, man. So Omar, Slomar, I'm gonna let you up. Slomar the Muslim. I'm gonna let you back up. But what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to be respectful on the stage. Don't try to get kicked, because you know you're gonna get kicked calling us dogs and stuff like that. Just be cool and deal with the argument at hand. Your argument that you have to deal with is which gospel was it that they would find Muhammad written in? If you're saying that what we have is not it, where is his mentioning? That's what I want to know. Come up and answer the question. Come up, Slomar.
Peace of Christ, everybody.
Salam al-Masih, I like him.
Okay, guys, you can see my camera, right? Can you give me a big screen?
Are you going to deal with what I just
Yeah,
asked
I
you to
am.
do?
Yeah, I'm going to address what we got said in the past 5 minutes. Let me put my big screen.
Okay.
Just give me a big screen, please. Thank you. I appreciate
Hunter,
that.
you still here?
Yeah, Hunter, you still there?
So you're going to be on the big screen answering what I just asked you,
I'm
right?
going to be respectfully responding to that which was said, because he made he responded to me.
So you're going to be respectfully responding to what I
give me
just
a big
said,
screen.
right?
Yeah, I'm going to respond to everything.
So go ahead. I'm waiting to listen to
Can you give me a big screen? I want my big screen so I can show everyone.
Once I know that you're responding to what I said, then you got it.
I want to show everyone here the lies you just did.
Once I hear you responding to what I just said, I got
the books out to expose your lies. Give me the big screen.
Once I hear that you're responding to what I just said, you got it.
Okay, I'm gonna just continue. So let's see. So let's go with this, guys. The primary goal. Let me finish. Just so you. No. Look, he's ready to kick me, guys. I'm going to respond to what Hunter said, and now he's not letting me finish. I'm going to respond to what you guys said.
He's done, guys. If any other Muslim wants to come up and deal with what I just said, you're more than welcome to come up.
It's impossible. We cannot recover the original text, guys. Christian scholar, we cannot recover.
is here. You guys can come up, man.
We cannot recover. The primary goal of textual criticism is the primary goal of textual criticism is to recover the original text.
You're done. Get out of here.
Godlogic, I'm on a train. I don't have much time.